Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's discuss about prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So we know that prokaryotic means a single cell, prokaryotic means multicellular organisms. Okay, so we know that any organism can be have a life with single cell also. We call it as prokaryotic. Usually the bacteria, viruses, fungus, all these things will be the prokaryotic cells. Whereas eukaryotic cells, we also know that the animal cells, okay, or especially the human beings or the plant cells. So most of them are eukaryotic cells. How? Because we are having different organs. Every different organ has got a different cells, understanding. So but whereas bacteria, algae, all these things and all will not have many organs, so they are very small. Okay, so that's the reason they are having their unicellular organism or prokaryotic cells. So let's discuss. So the prokaryotic cells are represented by the bacteria, algae. We are having mycoplasma and PPLO, that is pleuropneumonia like organisms. These are some of the examples which are considered to be the prokaryotic cells, as having the prokaryotic cells. So they are generally smaller, definitely, since a single cell they are smaller and multiply more rapidly, compared to the eukaryotic cells. Okay, so they multiply very fast. Okay, for example, imagine today I clone the bacteria, tomorrow I will be having thousands of bacteria. Okay, that's how they multiply. Okay, so that's why. So one single becomes two cells becomes one bacteria will become three bacteria next step, and for the next division, five bacteria, like that. But in humans it is not like that. We are having the cells for specific organs, not for entire human body. Will not become a second two human bodies, right? So that's the difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Okay, so a typical eukaryotic cell, you can see this is how so many things will be there, whereas prokaryotic will have a very small, like see, you can see this, the cell structure. This is just a comparison between the eukaryotic and prokaryotic organisms, like, right? See, typical bacteria cells, somewhat it looks like this. PPLO, somewhat it looks like the viruses, even lesser than that. So a typical eukaryotic cell is 10 to 20 micrometer, whereas here it is almost 10 to 20 times lesser than the eukaryotic cell. It's almost 100 times lesser than that. Okay, and here almost 2000 to 200 times lesser than of it. Okay, so that's the reason the single cells will and multiply faster. So they may vary greatly in shape and size. The four basic shapes are there in prokaryotic cells only. We call it as bacillus. If the cells are like a rod kind of shape, if you see that in microscope rod shape, then you can call it as a bacillus. Next, if it is spherical in nature, you call it as a coccus. For example, bacillus, many enzymes, many organisms will come under bacillus. Okay, then coccus, like streptococcus. Okay, like that. Next, vibrio, that is comma shaped. If the comma shaped kind of this thing structure you see, then they are called as vibrios. And if the structure is spiral kind of structure, then we call it as a spirillum. Okay, so based on the shape and size, they are categorized. Okay, now the organisms of the prokaryotic cell is fundamentally similar, even though prokaryotic exhibit a wide variety of shapes and functions. Organizations, how it has to be done, and the functions, okay, will be same, even though they have got a lot of different shapes, okay, and functions. Now eukaryotic cells, so examples include protists, plants, animals, and fungi. So in eukaryotic cells there is an extensive compartmentalization of the cytoplasm. That means extensive means highly organized, okay, through the presence of membrane bound organelles. So eukaryotic cells possess an organized nucleus, okay, with a nuclear envelope is there, and when their genetic material is organized into chromosomes. These all things comes under cytoplasm. So you can see that this is a prokaryotic cell, so which is simple. Cytoplasm is here, nucleolide, DNA is here, ribosome here. This is all called as chromosome. Now the plasma membrane, this is how it looks like, which will cover this, okay, as we discussed in the previous classes. Then the this is called a capsule. okay, which will have one more cover, and these things are called pilus. Okay, and this is a huge flagella. Okay, and when you are talking about the eukaryotic cell, we are having, see here, nucleolus, okay, which is there inside the nucleus. Okay, and this nucleus will be covered by envelope. Okay, so next, endoplasmic reticulum is there. These are all entire thing what you can see in the white or bluish. These are all things cytoplasm, as we discussed in the previous classes. In the cytoplasm, many organelles are there. We discussed about endoplasmic reticulum. We discussed about cytoskeleton. We discussed about mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, right? Lysosomes. All these things will be there inside the cytoplasm. So this is there is a basic comparison is there between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So for example, we will take a component and then we will compare organisms. So examples we have already given. Eukaryotic means plants, animals, fungi have eukaryotic cells, whereas prokaryotic example is bacteria, cyanobacteria. Okay, and then cell wall, how it is arranged. So in eukaryotic cell wall is not there in animals, but in plants it is there, whereas prokaryotic cell wall is there. Whereas centrioles, yes, for all animals and some lower plant forms you are having the centrioles, but prokaryotic cell doesn't have centrioles. Next, cilia and flagella. Yes, there are cilia and flagellas, but very simple, whereas in prokaryotic it is complex. Golgi complex, it is present in eukaryotic cell but not in prokaryotic. Lysosomes are also not present in the bacteria or prokaryotic. Peroximos also not present in prokaryotic but present in eukaryotic. Nucleus is also not present in prokaryotic but it is present in eukaryotic. Next, plasma membranes are present in eukaryotic and as well as prokaryote. Next, chromosomes. So here eukaryotic several chromosomes, depends on which animal you are talking about, and prokaryotic only one long DNA strand will be there. So next we are having ribosomes is present in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Endoplasmic reticulum is present in eukaryotic but is absent in prokaryotic. Okay, next topic we are having animal cell and plant cell. We will discuss in the next class. Please subscribe. There are 91% of the students who are watching my videos but not subscribing. Only 9% of students have subscribed. That is, I'm getting around 2000 subscribers. Imagine other 91%. Okay, so I should be getting around more than 20,000 subscribers by now, but you guys see, you learn things but you will not subscribe. That's really not good thing to do. Okay, please subscribe and study well. All the best.